What's up, guys? Hopefully I timed that right. It might be a little delayed, or it might be a little in the future. I'm not sure, because I'm literally having to watch the video in a different program and pre-record in another program. So fun. So, this is footage of the solo showdown mode that was in Fortnite last weekend. It was a competitive mode that pitted you against all the pros. As you'll see here, some pro gameplay from me. Guy literally needs to let me kill him. He gets 2 pump shots because that pump is just so fucking consistent. But it was supposed to be a competitive mode, right? It was ranked in the sense that you were awarded points based on your placement. More on that in a second, but essentially you had 50 games. Only your first 50 games in this mode counted. And you had 50 games to score as many points as possible. So if you got first place every time, you got 100 points, which means that you had a potential to get 5,000 total points. And naturally, the person that won the competition, as far as I'm aware, I didn't check again to make sure, but I'd be hard-pressed to believe that someone else did, had 4,889 points. Exactly 111 points away from the max amount of points you could get, which means they probably won between 40 to 42, if not closer to 45 of all of their matches. And as you can see right here, this is one of the main problems with this game mode. There's literally no reason for me to do anything. I can just hang out here and wait for everyone to go on. Because the only way that you scored points in this mode was via your placement. So I know there are probably a lot of videos talking about this right when it came out. But as I did not get to play it until the very last day that it was up, I figured I would take the time to discuss it because it is a interesting way that they approached competitive play to start with, and I'm sure they knew it wasn't going to be perfect, but I am curious basically like how they thought it was going to work, and sort of did they think that, you know, what the response was the response that they thought they were going to get. So, first and foremost, I mentioned that obviously I only got to play for, or I only started it like the last day that it was up, right? I played 50 matches of Fortnite in about 11 hours, 12 hours maybe. I don't remember the exact timeline. But as you can see from the length of this video, and I'll have even sped some of this up, the average length of a Fortnite match doesn't really go into that equation very well. In fact, so this match was 23 minutes long, which was actually a little bit shorter than my other games that I won or got like second or third place. Normally, anytime I got first or second, it was around 25 minutes. For a Fortnite match. So that's 12 matches every 6 hours, which means for 50 matches, you would get them done you would have to do it in a whole day. You'll see me here completely just absolutely mess up that building, ran out of materials, but hey, I landed right on a chest, and I get my trusty hunting rifle. I don't know why I didn't pick up that med kit and use it since I was at low health. I am really smart. Wow, I didn't even see that med kit popped out. Anyways, so yeah, it would take you just over 24 hours to complete that of solid playing. And now that's, of course, you know, saying that you got first or second place every single time, which is very unlikely. But, you know, if you were, you know, that good, then it would take you that long to do it. As such, I had to throw about half of my games by basically jumping tilt and doing what I'm doing right now. Although I noticed that the player count was dwindling very, very quickly, and I hadn't really been seen. So I decided to try and turn this into a legitimate run, and like I said, I ended up winning. This little section right here is actually hilarious. You'll see this dude run, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna hide behind here and make sure that no one can see me." Nope, headshot. And then in a second, we will see one of these dudes. I think it's OS Man UK. I think he gets tired of trying to fight people, and I see that person up there, and I'm trying to get a hit on them. Oh, it looks like he fell down, and so I just happened to go, "Oh hey, look, there's somebody running over there. That's strange. Oh, are you going for all that loot, buddy? Man, it sure would suck if you got headshotted." So right now I'm pretty much just feeling it. I'm like, all right, cool. There's only 30 people left. I think I had 3 or 4 kills at this point, and I'd just gotten 2 really good headshots with a hunting rifle. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna try and let's see how far I can get on this one. But yeah, so one of the biggest issues is time, right? So you had to play 50 matches in order to get the special spray. And really, if you wanted to try and compete and win and get, one of the prizes that was given out to the top 100 people, you were going to have to invest that much time, because that much time is how long it took. Epic had the top 1,000 people on their leaderboards on their website, and last I checked, all top 1,000 people had over 4,000 points. Which, again, you could get second place every single time and have more than 4,000 points. I think you could get third or fourth place every single time and have more than 4,000 points. So it wasn't like, that was a death sentence if you, didn't win or get second place or whatever. Or if you just were just super terrible, couldn't clutch any matches. But, I mean, it was still, you would have to play for a very long time. And from what I remember, this launched on a Thursday and then it was done on a Monday. Yeah, look at that quality. It didn't even hit him. Wow, that's impressive. I love the pump shotgun. It's so good. That's why I killed him with the SMG instead of the pump. But yeah, so we only had a couple days, and I was pretty busy over the weekend, and so I was like, well, this sucks. Like, this is the competitive mode, right? Like, I got to figure out. I was like, I want that spray. That spray is going to be dope. People will be using it and be like, well, this is, I played in this mode or whatever. So like I said, I grinded them out. And really, hey, there's a med kit. Really, my biggest issues with it are, as you can see, right? So there's no reason to press. There's no reason to kill people. There's no reason to do anything other than camp and wait for the storm to come in. Because you didn't get any points for winning, or for how many kills you got. You only got points for your placement, right? So there was actually a match where I knew I was going to get trapped in the storm, and I knew I couldn't get out. So instead of even, and I was like, and there was another guy in the storm with me, and this dude, instead of trying to fight me, was just running, right? Trying to make it out of the storm. But I knew, I was like, well, I'm going to die in the storm anyway. I'm just going to kill this guy so I get a better placement, right? That was about the only time where actively trying to fight someone, would help you, right? Otherwise, you run to the edge of the storm, you build a 1x1, and you sit in it, and you wait for people to come up to you, or you wait for people. Or you do what I do, and you take the outside route to every single storm, to where you're hopefully, fighting the least amount of people, right? There was no encouragement to play the game necessarily. It was really all about, survival, which ostensibly, right, the only way that you are quote unquote ranked in this game, and the only thing that the stat tracker, tracks is kills, or is wins. It doesn't really track kills per se. You do have eliminations as a stat track, but there's no leaderboard for eliminations, right? Like in the game itself, there's like a weekly leaderboard for how many points you get or whatever, but that's not, that's time you were alive, people you killed, that's like a formula or whatever, which seems strange that they wouldn't have just used that points formula that they already have built into the game where they literally could have just said, all right, it's however many points you get in your first 50 matches. Because at that point, right, you could get, more points if you were second place and got 15 kills, and somebody just sniped you from a bush at the end of the match and they only got 1 kill, right? Second place with 15 kills would have given you more in-game points than first place with, 1 kill. It just seems very, very odd that they would decide to, just make an arbitrary point system that wasn't already in the game that they would then have to have their servers calculate and keep track of when there's literally already a point system in the game. It's just very, very odd, very odd. But if you compare and contrast this with some Fortnite tournaments that are popping up, right? So you have Keemstar's Fortnite tournament, right? He does it Fridays. He's done it the last 2 Fridays. I'm sure he's going to do it this Friday, and he keeps increasing the prize pool. And his is two teams of 2, right? They group up into 1 squad, and they go into squads. And they try and see who can get the most kills. Oh, wow. Okay, so see, I didn't see this guy. I feel so stupid. I didn't see that guy run in there. So you'll notice here in a little bit, probably in about a minute or 2, I'm pretty sure I kill this guy, but I think he's still in that box because I did not see him run in because he ran right at the edge of my camera. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. That's hilarious. But anyways, yeah, so Keemstar's thing is you squad up 2 groups of 2 in the same squad so they can't hurt each other. And basically they're trying to get the most kills in the match that they can, right? And so I forgot to look at the rules to see what happens if you didn't win the match. Let's say you just popped off, you're 12 kills deep, the other team doesn't have any kills, or the other 2 people don't have hardly any kills. You're just going crazy, you get all these kills, you and your teammate die at 12 kills, let's say something happens, and then the other 2 people go on to win the game, but they only have 3 kills. I don't know what the benefit to that is, if there is any, right? Or if they're just shit out of luck if they just lose because they can't get any more kills. But I think that's interesting because it swings the pendulum the other way. I will say from a gameplay standpoint, it makes sense to say that professional players are at a higher capacity level when they are attempting to kill other players rather than when they are attempting to survive the longest. Only because when you have players that are that adept at the game, right? When you have players that are that advanced and that are that good and understand the mechanics of the game, and they've hit a new sort of apex, they've hit a skill gap, if you will. Then to then throw them into a match with a bunch of people who are just camping, right? Who aren't playing in the same style that they have been playing against in public matches, right? Because these are everything is public matches for the most part. Because with custom matches that are out now, there are some people doing scrims and stuff, but for the most part, Ninja's hopping into random public matches, so he's gonna have random public people, right? To then funnel all the people into a quote-unquote competitive match and then purposefully design. Yeah, see, I still think that this dude is in this box because I'm an idiot and I waste a whole bunch of time here. Oh man, I guess he's gone. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it was that dude that you killed 45 minutes ago. But to purposefully design a game mode to which the way in which people played was directly polar opposite to the way in which most people played seems dumb to me, right? For me in a competitive shooting game, the way that pro level play should be is it should be higher level normal play, right? You should be looking at it and going oh man, if only I had better map awareness, if only I could build better, if only I understood how these guns worked better, if only I, had the right loadout, if only I, whatever, right? Not literally, all the pros, wow, they play like completely different than me. Like, I'm like kind of aggressive, and I like to go in and kill people. All the pros just sit back and head glitch on ramps and double pump from the sky. It's like, no, that's stupid. Like, unless there is such a significant difference in the meta that the pros are using, right? Like, I could understand something that has a little bit more depth. And when I say that, I mean depth in terms of differences in kind, right? So, like, for instance, like League of Legends or, Dota or Heroes of the Storm or any sort of MOBA, right? If there are so many champions that the meta is constantly revolving around what champions are good and who's countering who and who's banning what characters on which player, and the pro level gets to a point where you're seeing different team comps, you're seeing different item compositions, you're seeing different rune sheets, and you're seeing all of these things that can have all these variables, then yeah, the skill gap between a challenger player and a bronze player is going to be wide, and the way in which they play is going to be vastly different, right? But from a gameplay perspective on something like this, really the biggest skill gap you would notice from someone who's never played the game before to someone who would consider themselves to be professional, I would say, is building, right? There's not that much different in how that person, who is completely new, who's played first-person shooters before or third-person shooters before, and who goes into this game and goes, okay, I know how to play a third-person shooter. I know the basic mechanics of shooting. I'm going to go in here. They're not going to shoot that much different, right? They might not know how double pump works. They might not know how the burst rifle shots connect. They might not know how to, crouch and aim reset, right? Those are things that will come with time. But the basic mechanics of how they're shooting and how they're playing and how they're trying to, the basic tactics all remain the same. So that is all very long-winded to say it's strange to me that Epic decided to curate a play style that's so vastly different than what people normally play. But then again, like I said, with Keemstar's thing, he's trying to get, the most kills in a match. And again, I didn't look it up, so I'm not sure about the, what happens when you win, what happens when you lose, stuff like that. But that seems more accurate to me and what I would assume pro players are capable of, right? Like, if I'm watching a pro gameplay, I want to see, X amount of kills. I want to see, crazy stuff happen. I want to see a bunch of people fighting. So that blows my mind. So that my game did glitch. So as you guys saw, that dude totally slid down the mountain and then suction cuffed back up there. I saw that while we were playing the game, and I didn't even realize that there were two people still up there. I literally thought one of them fell off the mountain and died in the storm, and that's why it was so strange I couldn't find his stuff. Interesting. So see, as you can see right here, I knew there was fighting going on. I knew there was people fighting. But again, why would I engage? No one's looking at me. I have no problem just sitting here getting more points, right? Someone just died and now there's only 6 people left. Someone's about to die and there's only going to be 5 people left. It's like, what point is there for me to go and engage? I'll just sit behind this tree and hang out. I'm a decent enough builder to where if someone does start shooting at me, I can probably build up and protect against most people, right? If someone that was super pro came up against me, that's not going to work. But, someone who's just decent at the game like I am, we're going to get into an okay build battle, and it'll be fine. Like, I won't lose that much agency, or I won't lose that much, like, not really agency, but I won't lose that much, like, advantage in the fight. Oh, I didn't notice that guy popping a chug jug up there. That's interesting. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't really know how to necessarily fix it, to be honest. I think that using their built-in point system is probably a step in the right direction, as that, if I recall correctly, calculates both kills. I'm such a potato, I didn't even take those shots. But it calculates kills, placement, etc., into the game properly. Actually, this is pretty hilarious. So as you can see, I potatoed all those shots. So this dude's coming up to me, and I'm shooting this. I don't get this kill. This guy gets sniped by the guy up on the mountain while he was attacking me. Which again, I potato right there, and that dude moves the second he needed to, which is okay because it makes for a much cooler ending, as you guys will see. But anyways, like I said, I feel like maybe using their in-game point system would make the most sense, since it's, you know, there for a reason. Tighten that up, and then you could have a pretty decently balanced. Maybe you could have a casual and a casual scoring system and a competitive scoring system, right? Because you have to incentivize kills. You also have to incentivize staying alive, right? Because if I drop tilted, get 10 kills, walk out and die, and I had the most kills in the match because I just went off, that doesn't really make me a winner in the Battle Royale sense, right? So how do you incentivize both play styles? How do you equalize that sort of playing field for both styles of players? And how do you reward people for adapting on the fly? I like the idea of dropping 2 duos into squads, because it's like, especially when you consider if they split up, which they should because they're trying to get the most kills, right? Once they split up, they are now 2 duos playing in a squads match, which means every fight could, in theory, be 4v2, right? So it should be, it makes for more interesting gameplay. So I'm definitely okay with that. But, you know, I wish there was a way to do it in the game itself. I choke so hard right here. He eats away at my shield. And I swear my first pump shot didn't do any damage. But anyways, those are my thoughts about Solo Showdown. I'm about to win this match in a pretty awesome way. So if you guys liked it, leave a comment down below. If you guys want to see more Fortnite clips, let me know. Headshot. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for me today. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to orange justice my way out. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.